Hello, hello, hello. Knits for Sanity here, and welcome to my Whip and Chat. WIP stands for Work in Progress, so grab whatever it is that you are currently working on, or go ahead and complete that chore that you've been putting off. And chat means I will sit here and keep you company for a little while. Thanks for coming. What am I currently working on? Well, I hope this will be the last week that you see me working on A Little Witchy, which is a canvas that comes from Diamond Art Club. It has not been my favorite painting to work on, if I'm being honest. And I'll talk more about it in the post review. Bottom line is, I still absolutely love this painting. Like, I love the image, but it has not been the greatest experience for me to work on it, which is why I'm still working on it. I was hoping to be done by now. I easily could have been done by now. I should have been done by now. I have more paintings I want to get to, but this just has not been the joy that I was hoping it would be. So we're going to blast through this, and by the time you see me again for Whip and Chat, I will be done with this painting. I promise. Come one way or another, I will be done. I'll be working on something new. So that is what I'm currently doing. If you would love, I would love it if you'd pop in and let me know what you are currently working on. It does not need to be a diamond painting. It does not need to be knitting related. I would just love to know what is keeping you busy these days. You know, what kind of crafts are you into? That kind of stuff. It is a very different time of day for me to be recording a Whip and Chat. In fact, for the first time ever, I am recording it during daylight. Yes, you heard that correctly. It is light outside. If you are not aware, I do all of my Whip and Chats super late at night. That is in part because I am just naturally a night owl, like really, truly naturally a night owl. I do much better at night than I do during the day. I always have my entire life. And so normally my Whip and Chats, I record them Sunday night and Wednesday night after everyone's gone to bed. Well, last night was Wednesday night, date night for my husband and me, again, which you would know if you have been following along. And when we got home, it was not late at all, maybe 7:30 at the latest. My son was in our bed watching some YouTube, and I just I put on my pajamas, I crawled in next to him, and I never got back out. I was exhausted. And I remember thinking, oh, I really need to record my Whip and Chat. Otherwise, this might not make it up till Friday, and then I'm going to be behind, and I don't like being behind. But I was so tired. I was just exhausted. So I'm hoping I can get this done and recorded, and maybe a miracle will happen and the internet will be cooperative and I can still get this up at least later tonight. We'll see. But if it's Friday and this only appears, you know, by Friday night or something, that's why. It's because I had to record it like 12 hours later than what I normally do. So the kids are actually still at school. I have a little over an hour yet before my three oldest get home. They get home about 2:45 every day. But my husband's here, so if you hear some background noise, it's either my husband or, of course, Alfie snoring. My husband won't be snoring. I should clarify that. He is hard at work, although I'm looking over at him right now, and he's at the fridge eating something. So maybe at this particular moment in time, he is not hard at work, but I swear I just heard him in a meeting. So yes, he works from home, in case you didn't know. But you know, he's usually pretty well behaved. So I don't think he's going to give us many problems. I'd be more concerned about the dog, although the dog is taking his second afternoon nap already. So I think we're probably good there too. All right, so this week I'm going to start off with a question first and foremost. It is something that actually one of my daughters asked me about. And that is, would you guys be receptive to, instead of a whip and chat where I'm working on a diamond painting or a knitting project, what would you think if I were doing a coloring project? My daughter was looking at my coloring books and she's like, Mom, you got to do a coloring whip and chat. And I said, well, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, if you guys have a preference or care one way or the other, let me know. If you don't care, let me know. You know, part of me kind of feels like it's a whip and chat. So really you should be doing your own thing while I'm doing this anyway. If you're watching me just put drills down or knit stitches, that's kind of boring, I would think. I mean, maybe not if you really enjoy watching me do this kind of simple work. That's cool. But you know, let me know if you'd be interested in ever watching a coloring whip and chat. If you really don't like that idea, let me know that too. I really have no opinion truly one way or another. Like I said, while I may view it as you should be doing your own work, are you really paying attention to what I'm doing on the screen? That doesn't really mean anything. I don't really care what you think. I just want to know if that's something that you'd be open to. If it is, then perhaps I will do that. Now, having said that, would you be interested in a replacement? You know, so like Sunday, I do a coloring whip and chat instead of a knitting whip and chat. Or would you rather I just keep the schedule I have and every once in a while do an impromptu coloring whip and chat? So that would be like a bonus whip and chat. Yeah, let me know. I am truly, genuinely curious to find out. I certainly have enough to talk about that I could do the occasional impromptu coloring whip and chat. And it would be quite occasional, like maybe once a month. It would not be overwhelming. Don't worry. You're not going to have to hear my stories or how crazy I am 3 times a week. 2 times a week is probably more than enough. So that is the question that I'm launching off with today. It seems like a lot has happened since I was here Sunday night last talking with all of you. And it seems like a lot of time has lapsed since then as well. It may be in part because it's actually Thursday early afternoon and not Wednesday night. I don't know. But I'll fill you in. First, I think I'm going to launch into another bear public service announcement. Okay. If you did not catch my first bear PSA, you can look back through, and it is in the title where my bear PSA is. I suggest you look into it. All right. If you're not aware, I do live in a rural setting. Okay. That's kind of pivotal to understanding my bear PSAs. And once again, local social media page was posting pictures of bears that people have been catching on their trail cams, which occurred to me. Here, let me take a sip of my coffee. See, it's early afternoon, so now I have coffee. But it occurred to me, there is a chance that maybe you don't really understand what a trail cam is, actually. I mean, you can obviously get an idea from it, but trail cams are generally used, you put them up in locations where you would like to hunt and where you think you see active activity, depending on what you're hunting for. So you're looking for where deer bed down at night, you're looking for deer trails, and then you put up a camera, and that will kind of help you figure out the patterns of the animals in the area to know when it may be a good time to hunt there. They aren't always necessarily used for hunting purposes either, but that is a really big purpose for why you use trail cams. If you have, questions about hunting, that's something else that I will probably end up talking about in a whip and chat later on. We don't hunt in my family, but I also have no problem with hunting at all. And that will, like I said, that'll probably be a later conversation on here. So anyway, people were posting pictures from their trail cams of more black bears that they're seeing. And if you're not aware, we do have a number of black bears that live around us. I have to date only seen one in person, and we've only seen bear scat on our property. We've not actually seen a bear on our property yet, which I'm not opposed to seeing a bear on our property. As long as he, you know, is just kind of passing through, that's cool beans. And as long as we're careful and take care of our trash and stuff, that's really all that they do. You know, he's just trying to make his life too. Well, a number of people who live or come from more populated areas and have recently moved up here to the middle of nowhere, there were several comments about, oh, that's scary, and I don't want to live where there are bears, and someone needs to do something. You know, has the DNR been called? They need to come and they need to take care of these bears. Guys, the bears have a right to live here too. In fact, they were here first. Now, I'm not like super, you know, animals come first kind of weird person like that, but the bears do have a right to live here. There is actually enough room where we live in particular. There is enough room for both bears and humans. Humans, just be responsible. Take care of your trash. You know, don't leave stuff out that looks appealing for the bear to take up immediate occupancy of your area. For the most part, the bear is not interested in commingling with the humans unless, like I said, you leave stuff out that appeals to the bear. The bears just want to make their own life here, and they have every right to do that. And so people were commenting back to those who were saying, oh my goodness, you know, the DNR needs to do something and we can't have bears living here. And a lot of people did comment back saying, no, that's not true. Bears have always been here. Bears may be here. Just don't be stupid and respect them, and they aren't going to bother you. And there was one retired DNR guy too who posted saying, look, we aren't going to do, the DNR will do nothing about the bears because they're living where they may live. They do like to tag bears when they find them and kind of keep track of where they're going and roaming and stuff, because that's important information for the DNR to collect. Department of Natural Resources, by the way, if you are not familiar, that's what DNR stands for, Department of Natural Resources. Well, then I kept reading and someone posted this horrific story. And again, this is just what I was reading on social media. I don't know if it's actually true, but it was posted by a longtime local. And they said that a number of years ago, a few years ago, I don't know how long, they did not give a year, just a few years ago is what they said. There was a bear that had been roaming around. And this individual had caught this bear on their trail cam, on and off. Wasn't causing any problems or anything like that, but there were some recently relocated local people who had moved from the city out to the country, and they learned about this bear and freaked out. And in fact, they freaked out so much that they ended up hunting down and shooting this bear. Now, there is an appropriate time and place and a way that you can get a bear permit and shoot a bear. This bear was shot completely illegally. Completely illegally. And it was a fear-based shooting. This bear had not done anything. There were no reports that the bear had even caused any kind of minimal damage to anyone's property or anything like that. People just got scared because there was a bear. We know about it because the DNR had actually tagged this bear, and suddenly movement stopped. So then they knew, you know, bear is dead, or at the very least trapped. They went out. They found her. It was a female bear. They found her cubs. and ended up capturing the cubs, and the cubs were still nursing cubs. So my guess is whoever shot this bear, instead of then actually like poaching her, they probably then saw the cubs and went, oh crap, knowing if I get caught with this, I'm in big trouble. As far as I know, no one was ever caught for doing this, but it is an atrocious, it's an atrocious story. So if you live in the city and you do go out to a rural area, please remember that wild animals need to live somewhere, okay? They have to live somewhere, and we need them to live somewhere. Animals are a vital part of our ecosystem. We can't just kill all the bears because they make us uncomfortable. So that is my bear PSA number 2. Don't kill the bears, unless of course you go about it legally. That's a different story. But anyway, I am now done with bear PSA number 2. What else? Well, you know, it's been kind of a big week for my middle daughter. As I've talked about a couple times before, she is like super big into wrestling. I mean, the girl loves wrestling, just loves this sport. And for several years, she also did Odyssey of the Mind, which is, it's a really cool competition program. I don't want to get into it too much because it's really actually kind of in depth to be able to get into. But I have 2 kids that have done it for a number of years. Both of them have been in groups that have been state champions. I have been a coach for OM just 1 year. But it is a cool program. Look into it. If your local school district offers it, try and get your kid involved. If your kid is a good fit for it, do it. Well, last year, middle daughter was not able to do OM. There was not a coach available. And really, it worked out fine. She didn't miss it last year. Daughter number 3 did do OM last year with a group. Loved it. And they did go to state. They actually won a special award last year for what they had done. So that's really cool. But daughter number 2 did not. Well, her coach, who's always been her coach, contacted me a few days ago and asked, hey, would any of your kids be interested in maybe doing OM again this year? She's thinking she might be ready to coach again. And I said, well, let me talk to them. And my oldest, who's kind of always wanted to do OM, but it's never worked out in her favor, she came back and said, yeah, she'd love to try it for 1 year. You know, we'll see. She says she really wants to do it, you know, and she's kind of jealous that her sisters have been able to do this and have won some things doing it. I'm not 100% sure just how great of a match this daughter is for it. She's super clever. So I could be really surprised. I'd love to see her give it a try and find out. Because I'm really interested. I'm interested to know what she would think after wholly participating with an OM group. Daughter number 3 needs to wait and find out if her group from last year is coming back together again. If they are, she'll go with them. Daughter number 2, who has always been a part of this coach's OM team since early elementary school. She's always been a part of that team. We had a talk. She does love OM. However, OM season corresponds and overlaps with wrestling season. 2 years ago, when she was in the 5th grade, it was her first year as the junior coach manager of the varsity wrestling team. And OM was a strictly virtual thing. They had all their meetings virtually. They only got together like twice, maybe 3 times, to film their long-term problem, which is, it's a skit with a number of different elements that they need to incorporate into this skit. So they only ever got together as a group to record it. And then the regional and state competitions were held virtually. So there wasn't even a competition to go to. And so that is how she was able to participate 2 years ago while still being with the high school wrestling team. But this year, that won't be an option. Typically, the OM regional competition takes place the same weekend as individual districts for wrestling, which in Michigan, you have first districts, then regionals, and then state. So it's, you know, a huge, super big competition. She won't be available any Saturday for practice because wrestling tournaments take place on Saturdays, and it's all day Saturday. Wednesdays are also tournament days. Practices are after school, and she will be the only person who will be able, at this point anyway, the only manager type person who will be able to attend practice and take role attendance. And she takes her job really, really seriously, and she loves it. So we got talking about it, and I pointed this all out, and she actually thought of it immediately when I said, would you be interested in doing OM again? She's like, oh yeah, I like OM. And then she said, but wait, there's wrestling. And I said, yeah. Well, talking it through, there was really no option of question in her mind. She knew immediately her choice is wrestling. That is what she is the most passionate about. That is what she wants to stick with. I mean, this girl has dreams. She would love for nothing more than to go to college. And like I've said many times, she cannot wrestle herself. She cannot do it. She is not physically capable of being a good wrestler. Really, truly. But she does love the sport, and her dream is to eventually coach an all-girls team. And it would be her dream to be able to go to college and help out with a college wrestling team. Whether that is a men's or women's team, she is cool with either one. I think she would think it's really cool if she can go to a college that does have a women's wrestling program. But she has dreams. She has goals and aspirations. And so I said, okay, then I will let your OM coach know that wrestling is your priority. She did say she would certainly be interested in helping out with the group, but she can't be involved with competition. And she could really only give, you know, maybe 50% of what she has in years past with OM. I completely support that, as does my husband. She knows what she wants to do in life, and it's our goal to try and help get her there. And I give her tons of credit for knowing herself well enough to be able to say, no, this is what I want, and not have to wiffle waffle too much trying to decide. So that was kind of a big thing for her this week. And then yesterday, she had a follow-up appointment with the eye doctor. A little more coffee here. She has always had bad eyes. I actually took her to an eye doctor when she was, I don't even think she was quite 2 years old yet. And I took her in because I knew she was having a lot of difficulty seeing things up close. More so, I mean, small children in general do not have good near vision. But hers definitely appeared to be more severe than most. So I had taken her into an eye doctor. Like I said, she was right around 2. And they had said then, yeah, she definitely does have bad vision. If we thought we could correct it, if we thought we could make it better by putting her in glasses now, we would. But they were very confident that there was nothing that could be done to help correct her vision at all. Therefore, they don't like putting super small kids in glasses just because glasses are kind of fragile items. And so they said, wait another couple of years, or, you know, unless it becomes so severe that this kid really is just blind. But wait a couple of years and then have her come back, and she'll more than likely require glasses. So when she was 3, a couple months before she turned 4, we went back, and ever since then she's had glasses. She's become a lot more responsible with them. I can't even tell you how many pairs of glasses we went through those early years, but it was an ungodly number of glasses. Small children with glasses is a very difficult, very difficult. So she's always had bad eyes. Well, starting probably about 6 months ago, my husband and I were noticing that her right eye would turn out regularly. You know, one of those situations where you're talking to her and you're not 100% sure where she's looking because her eyes are going like this. You know, one eye is looking at you and the other one's whoop, over here looking at you don't even know what. And so her last eye appointment in August, last month, I brought it up and I said, it's gotten pretty severe. Let's look into it. So they did, and they said, well, first thing we want to do, she does need a new prescription. So we're going to get her with a new prescription, and then in about another month, then we'll see her again and see what the new prescription has done, if that's helped at all. So yesterday was this follow-up appointment. It wasn't bad news. It wasn't really good news, though, either. They said that her eye muscles are remarkably strong. In fact, abnormally strong. She is able to fight that eye turn regularly and consistently. That when she is prompted, she is able to bring that eye back and focus. And we had talked about vision therapy, but they said because her eye muscles are already so strong, and because she's not suffering, you know, she's not getting like consistent headaches or anything from the eye turn issue. The worst seems to be, she does say that occasionally she does have some double vision, but then I think when that happens, she corrects her eye herself. And I don't know that she's necessarily like consciously thinking to herself, oh, I need to move this eye back into place. I think it's, you know, it's just a natural thing where her body's like, oh, let's correct this. They said they weren't really confident that vision therapy would do a lot of good. Like her body is already doing virtually everything it can to fix itself. But what was a little hard for me as mom to hear was when the eye doctor asked her what bothers her about her eyes. You know, if it bothers her. That's what it was. Do your eye problems bother you? And, you know, my beautiful but definitely gangly 12-year-old daughter answers, well, yes, it bothers me. And the eye doctor says, why? You know, why? And my daughter says, well, because normal people's eyes don't turn out. I look weird. Oh, 7th grade is already really hard. And being neurodivergent is really hard, especially at this age. I mean, I remember being her age. And I remember by later elementary school, like 4th grade, 3rd, 4th grade, you think you finally have everything figured out. You think you understand your peers. You're feeling good. You're feeling actually pretty confident. And then all of a sudden junior high hits and everything changes. And now suddenly you don't understand 80% of the social dynamics that are happening around you anymore. No clue. You become quiet and withdrawn because you don't know how to relate to your peers anymore, because it just feels like everything that you say and do is now not okay, when just a couple of years ago it was fine. So I know she's dealing with that. I can see it. And like I said, I had that same experience myself. But then also to have a compounding physical issue like this that can make you look weird, as she said. I feel bad for her. 7th grade is brutal. Just brutal. I see her as just my absolutely beautiful daughter with big blue eyes. She is clever. She is witty. She is very intelligent and insightful. And I also know that mom and dad and other family and loved ones knowing that about her is not always enough anymore. You remember what it's like to be a preteen, early teen. That acceptance from your peers is really important. And I just, I want her to know that she is amazing and wonderful and awesome. Just like you guys, if you have kids, I'm sure you can relate. I'm sure you have been through this. And hopefully we'll get through it. Hopefully she's a strong kid. And I just have to believe that everything is going to be okay for her, because she is just such a neat kid. But I do feel bad. So that was middle daughter's week so far. Oh, something else too kind of about that is, you may wonder, you talk an awful lot about your middle daughter, and we hear about your son, and we sometimes hear about daughter number 3, but you don't seem to talk about your kids in equal amounts. Well, there's a reason. My firstborn is not too keen on this social media thing and mom sharing stuff about her on social media. So I need to respect that. So for the most part, I don't share a ton of information about my oldest, and that is intentional. I promise you, she is here. She is amazing. She is a really neat teenager. Just really neat teenager. Fiercely artistically talented. She does have some plans to make an appearance on my channel, actually. We have just recently gotten published some additional greeting cards using her art, and some gift labels as well. So those things are going to be coming in pretty soon, and she wants to sell those for either possibly being able to do the end of year 8th grade trip, East Coast, where they go to New York City and Washington, D.C. and all that kind of stuff, or saving it toward another trip for when she's in high school. She's taking Spanish, and there are some study abroad opportunities that she can do through the Spanish program. And she is truly remarkably talented with drawing. And that is her preferred medium, is drawing. Whether that be drawing on actual paper or computer. she is very good. So we've talked about it, and she would like to make an appearance on my channel and tell you and show you her art, and hoping to sell it. Just an FYI, she's hoping to sell it. So you'll get to know her a little bit then, but that's why you don't hear especially about my oldest that much. Daughter number 3 is my most laid back kid. She's like, yeah, you know, you can talk about me, Mom. That's fine. You don't need to share like everything, but I guess if you share some stuff, yeah, that's cool. You know, whatever, do whatever you want, Mom. She's our surprise child, like I've said, and she continues to be our surprise kid. She's a neat kid and ridiculously smart. I don't, like, crazy intelligent. 3854, 3854. Hold on, I gotta find 3854. Here we go. And then my son, he's kind of little. You know, he doesn't have much of an opinion right now about what Mom does and does not share. So that's just a little bit more about that, and why especially that first daughter, you just don't hear much about her. My other kids, they've all made various appearances already on my channel and stuff, and they enjoy it, and not that daughter number 1. But like I said, hopefully really soon she'll come on here and she'll talk to you a little bit. All right, I got a good Alfie story, guys. Oh, everyone should own a bulldog. They're just, I love them. They are hilarious. All right, so one of the kids, I think it actually was daughter number 3, she found back an old sensory brush. If you don't know what that is, all of my kids have needed various interventions and therapies over the years through like early childhood intervention programs, such as Early On and stuff like that. And all of them were diagnosed with a sensory processing disorder. And a couple of them, especially, my first 2 in particular, brushing was strongly encouraged as a way to incorporate some deep muscle pressure. And that's actually why we put the older 2 in wrestling to begin with, because it was a lot more affordable than gymnastics and local. And so that's how wrestling even started in our family, as we were using it as like a means of therapy. Little did we know that we would have a kid who this became like one of her biggest life passions. It's wrestling and reading for the most part. So my daughter found one of these sensory brushes back, and she tried it out on the dog. And she said, you know, Alfie really likes this. So like the next day I brushed the dog a little bit, and there's a very specific way that you're supposed to brush a human child. Just to let you know that if it's something that you look into, there is a more specific pattern and way that you're supposed to do it. So look into it. But for a dog, you know, I'm just going to brush the dog, right? Well, he did. He very clearly enjoyed this. Well, 2 nights ago, my husband was sitting on the couch, and here comes Alfie, and Alfie brings him and gives him the sensory brush. And I didn't notice it first until my husband's like, what, do you want me to brush you? And I look and I said, yes, he does. He wants you to brush him. He loves being brushed. So my husband did. He's on the ground now on the floor, brushing the dog. And the dog very clearly just thought this was amazing. You know, he sprawled out like, oh yeah, oh thanks. Oh, I feel so much better. Oh, the tension has gone. You know, it's been a stressful day. Oh, thanks. Thanks, Dad. It was hilarious. I couldn't believe it. The dog brought Dad the brush to have Dad brush him. It was hilarious. So, mean, yes, other dogs will definitely do that too, but there's just something about bulldogs because they seem so low key so much of the time, but really they're, I don't know. You need to have bulldogs to understand. And how on earth these bulldog owners can possibly love what are some of the stinkiest, smelliest, most health problem ridden dogs out there. You gotta have a bulldog. Oh, what else has been going on? My son had his first dance class for the year Monday evening. He loved it. You know, as much as I am not looking forward to this year and having to pack like an extra lunch / early dinner for him to take one class and then come out and he sits in the car and he eats for 50 minutes and then he goes in and he does his second dance class. He loved it. He had such a good time. He is really excited to be back. So that makes me happy. You know, it's worth it then. He is, once again, the only boy in both of his classes. He definitely prefers hip-hop over tap, but he still enjoys his tap class. It's a little bit shorter than his hip-hop class, and I think that helps. So he does want to do tap and continue with tap, but he really loves hip-hop. And then this kid says to me, Mom, I really want to try this other dance. It's called... What is it called? He says, you get to dance on the floor. And I said, break dance? Yeah. That's it. I want to do break dance. And I laughed. I'm like, well, okay. I don't know that they offer that, but that's something that you can ask your hip hop teacher about because, you know, that kind of fits within that genre. So maybe you'll learn some of that in hip hop. Oh, okay. Because, yeah, that's what I really want to do. So this kid makes me laugh. He's so stinking cute. He's just so stinking cute. Oh, the rest of the week. Well, it's Thursday already. Tonight, my son has another football game. Flag football. And it's going to be a quick game. He will be quickly defeated. It's against the gray team again, which, if you've been listening, there's a reason why the gray team, well, the gray team is actually coached by the head coach of the varsity football team. And this guy, I mean, these kids, if you're playing his team, you start promptly at 6 o'clock, not a minute later. You start at 6. You are done as soon as that time is up. I think it's 20 minutes and then you get like a 5-minute or 10-minute break and then it's another 20 minutes and you're done. That's it. And that is how it goes with him when you're playing his team. He has kids on his team, like his son, and then one of the assistant coach's son is on this team. These are kids who have grown up playing football. These kids are beasts, all right? For being first and second graders, these kids are really good at flag football. So they just kind of go through and just demolish every other team. And that's who my son's playing again tonight. So it's not going to be a particularly amazing game. It's good to know that ahead of time. But his Tuesday night game went pretty well. They did technically lose by like 1 run. So, you know, they were bummed about that. But like, you know, one of the coaches said too, it's not really about keeping score, guys. And it isn't, not at this level. Tomorrow is Friday, and that, of course, means another varsity football game. And it is also the 60-year anniversary of the school system. 60 years ago, our school system came into existence. It's a combination of 2 different systems, actually. And in order to have enough funding, essentially create enough funding to be able to continue schooling the kids in the area, these 2 systems joined forces. And so 60 years ago, these two schools came together, and the brand new high school under the new name and everything came together. And so there's a big celebration before the football game that the kids want to go to. And then there's the football game. And so hopefully we'll be able to do that. The one small problem in all of this is my oldest actually has a birthday party to go to tomorrow night. The drop off is at 6 o'clock and pickup is at 10 o'clock. And it's nowhere near the high school. It's in the opposite direction. So my husband and I will drive separately. He and my son will probably have to go and pick up my oldest. Depends on what time the game gets done. I might be able to run up there right after the game. But especially with it being a home game, there is no way my middle two girls are going to let us leave early. There is just no way. I mean, especially Beta, number 2. She will want to be there to see to the end and probably see her favorite athlete after the game. So we'll figure it out. And then I don't think there's anything major happening this weekend. I'm hoping to get together, finally put together my last shelving unit because I got the replacement piece last week and I've just not had the opportunity this week because it's been busy. We've actually had a number of different appointments this week. Psychiatrist appointments for one kid and eye doctors. And yeah, it's been a lot of running around this week. But I'm hoping over the weekend to get that last shelving unit put together. I'm hoping to finish this painting and kit up and start a different one. And yeah, you know, I really think that is everything that's going on. Again, I'd love to hear from you. I would love to know what craft or project you're currently working on. And it doesn't just need to be a crafting project. Maybe you have a home renovation or something that you're doing. And also let me know about the coloring whip and chats. You know, would it bother you to see me coloring one week instead of doing diamond painting or knitting? If you don't really care, let me know. And then would you be okay with it replacing a whip and chat? Or would you rather just see it as like the very occasional bonus, like bonus whip and chat? I am just looking for your opinions on those things. I don't think I mentioned either when I started this, I am actually using my brand new tools from Bella Art de Nicole. Oh, I have a horrible time saying it. I'm just going to say Bella Art from now on. I've not had any trash drills, but this is my trash drill container back here. It's a cute little jack-o'-lantern trick and treat holder with a lid. It's so cute. I love this so much. It is so cute. And this is my tray, which this is the large tray, and this has been really nice. I like this a lot too. So I forgot to mention that. And of course, this pen comes from Crashly, but you've seen this before. Anyway, like I always say, be kind, practice kindness all the time. You never know who you're encountering and what their life story is or what their day has been like. And in return, I hope the same kindness is shown to you. I hope you're having a wonderful day, and I will see you again soon.